What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Seven Figure Flipping Podcast. This is Bill Allen. On today's show, I'm going to do the first episode of a multi-episode series that I'm calling The American Dream. So the way that we teach wealth right now is absolutely wrong. So it's not being taught in school. It's not being taught correctly to entrepreneurs and business owners and just across the marketplace. So I have very passionate about this idea and concept of teaching wealth the right way and growing your personal wealth, your net worth, your passive income, all of those things. So I'm going to talk about some concepts and ideas that I've been working on lately on these 3 episodes or 4 episodes. So I hope you guys enjoy. Stay tuned. It's going to be a multi-episode series where I'm going to give you bite-sized chunks about why the American dream is absolutely broken and you should be wealthy, and I'm going to show you how.
My name is Bill Allen, and I'm the leader of a group of elite house flippers and wholesalers called Seven Figure Flipping. We don't brag or show off our success, but instead let integrity and stewardship be our guide. We are dedicated to helping people unlock the freedom they desperately need. If you ask other real estate investors, they will say to keep your secrets quiet. But we believe in abundance, not scarcity, and that's why we are the elite. We are Seven Figure Flipping, and this podcast is our playbook.
All right. I'm actually really excited to talk about this stuff, guys, because money is like my favorite thing to talk about in the entire world. I'm not absolutely obsessed with the dollar, with money, with my net worth and all these things. Well, I'm kind of obsessed with my net worth, but it's something I've been tracking and studying and loving and learning since I was a little kid, like a very, very little kid. I remember just trying to turn $1 into $2 all the time as a kid. I was like a closet entrepreneur, I like to call it. I didn't know I was an entrepreneur. I went in the military, worked for the government for a very long time and got unlocked when I found Seven Figure Flipping. I started, flipping houses, and then I started realizing that you can build a business and scale this thing. And that kind of unlocked my entrepreneurial journey, like this thing that was inside of me. And I've been running with it for the last 8 or 9 years. So as a kid, I was, buying candy in bulk, breaking it up and selling it in middle school. I did baseball card shows when I was like 13 years old. I remember I was at the mall. If you remember, like the actual enclosed malls in Columbia, Maryland, the Columbia Mall, I would go there and there would be a bunch of like 40-year-old men selling baseball cards to us kids. And I was the only kid selling and trading at the show. But I really love this stuff. I love talking about money. I love money. And so the first episode, what I'm going to talk about here is really like what the focus should be on an entrepreneur or somebody who's starting a business when they want to grow their net worth, they want to grow their passive income, they want to grow their money, they want to grow this thing. So most people, when they get set up, they start learning from like Dave Ramsey and some of these other folks about budgeting, about saving, like how do I cut out my Starbucks? How do I cut out the spending that I make? Even as a business owner, it's like, what are the systems and things like that and maybe hire a consultant and they come in and they say, this is what you need to cut. This is the expenses. These are the fees. Cut this stuff off, reduce the income or reduce the expenses, right? So you can make more money or save more money. And I think this is broken. I don't think that you can save your way to be really wealthy. I tried to do it for many, many years. When I was younger, I had IRAs, 401ks, those kind of things. And I would look at an average return of somewhere between 6 and 8% in the stock market. And I was going to be a millionaire by the time I was 65, and I could retire off my $1 million, have a certain amount of draw that I would make off of it while still making a return. And that was my plan, is I was just going to save up for retirement. So I was taught to save, save, save. I saved 55 to 60% of my income when I was in the Navy. And it did well for me. Like it gave me enough money to have my first down payment on my house, but I couldn't save my way to become wealthy. What I needed to do is I needed to shift my mindset and understand, and it took me years to do this, by the way. So I hope you take this like right now and start executing on it, but I needed to grow my income. I needed to actually grow my income. Like I was making maybe $120,000 in the military. When I got in, I was making somewhere around $45,000 to $50,000 a year. And I would save like $20,000 of that. And I thought that would kind of help me grow my net worth, but it was really slow going. And I was going to be 65 before I became a millionaire. What I started shifting was I just needed to grow my income. I needed to figure out how to do a side hustle. And that side hustle started off with kind of stock investing, and then it became real estate. Then I'd flip a house a year and make $40,000 to $45,000 a year and on top of my 120K, and that money was helping me grow. When I started to do more and more and more of that, I realized that growing my income was going to allow me to become wealthy. I tracked my net worth every single month. And it wasn't long after I started flipping houses and really growing my income while still maintaining my W-2, right? And I became a millionaire. And no balloons went off, no alarms, none of that stuff. It was like a Tuesday afternoon. And nothing changed. But my net worth sheet just kept growing and growing and growing and growing. And over the past few years, what I realized is if I can grow my income to $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, $10 million a year, then I can massively scale and grow my net worth. And I can take that money and go do something else with it. So the amount of money that you can cut on your expenses is really kind of limited. I remember giving my wife a hard time about going to Starbucks 3 or 4 days a week. I was like, hey, this is $6 cup of coffee, and you spend $9 there. Imagine if you just went one time a week, or you didn't go at all, or we made coffee at home, or we bought a coffee maker. And so, I mean, we're talking about saving maybe like $1,000 a year or $2,000 a year. That has nothing, like nothing. If I spent the same amount of time that I was arguing with my wife about cutting out the Starbucks, and I spent it on creating a side hustle or growing my income, then I could really change things. And so I would encourage you to spend. Now, I do think it's somewhat smart to look at where your money's going. If you're spending a lot of useless money on things that you don't need, on like a lot of wants, a lot of desires. But when you look at that vacation, that might cost $5,000. What is that vacation going to do to your mindset? What's that vacation going to do to your energy? What's it going to do to your business? Can you show up and make an extra $50,000 because of the $5,000 vacation you take? And when you look at it that way, then that's an investment in you. It's an investment in your health. It's an investment in your mindset. It's an investment in your emotional well-being. And so it might be an investment in your relationship, in your kids. And you really can't really put a price on those kind of things. So stop nickel and diming yourself to wealth and start making more money. Figure out how to make more money. You could just go right now today, and if you're a W-2 employee, go ask your boss for a raise. Come up with a plan. Say, this is why I deserve this. Go ask for a raise and start increasing your wealth. And then go find a side hustle, start flipping houses, start wholesaling houses, start doing that stuff on the side like I did, and then start growing your income. And eventually your side hustle might become your full-time thing like it did for me. And so I would say it's really challenging to save your way to become wealthy and cut the expenses. So go grow your income, go build your income. If you are running a company right now and it's just you might start thinking, hey, you might look at an employee or a team member that you come on as an expense, but they shouldn't be an expense. They should make you about $250,000 a year. Each employee should make about $250,000 a year. And you should be able to add that person in. Maybe it's a $40,000 or $50,000 employee. Maybe it's a $30,000 employee. And they should be making a multiple of their income within a few months. And so you put the time, energy, and effort in, that's an investment into your business and is going to make you more income. And so you want to constantly be figuring out how to grow your income. If you can figure out that and you start scaling your income, then you can become wealthy. I think the American dream, the reason why it's broken, the reason why people are teaching us wrong is they're teaching us to budget, they're teaching us to cut expenses, and they're not teaching us to figure out how to grow our income and really, really scale that. If we can scale that and you can change your mindset on money, you can change your mindset on your value to the marketplace, your value to the world, then you can change everything. So this is step one for me, is focus on my income. Focus on growing my income. Stop worrying about saving money. Stop worrying about those expenses. Now, saving is still important. I do think you should still save money. I think you should be putting money aside. I think you should live on less than you make. But the easiest way to do that is to massively grow and scale your income. So if you go onto the internet, you can find what military people make. And over 15 years of me being active duty, I grew my income there was no more work that I could do. I couldn't be any better. I couldn't be any smarter and make more money. It was simply just about time. And it was about maybe I get a promotion to the next rank a year before the other person because I worked hard for the last 8 years. So there was no real way for me to go up. Like I could just look at the chart. I could look at the number of years that I had to spend and to do it. And then I could look at my income. Like that wasn't it for me. I wanted to figure out how to grow my income. I want to be able to control it. The cool thing about being an entrepreneur and a business owner is you get to control your income. You get to show up when you want. You get to go on vacation when you want. You get to control your income. And you do that with your mindset. You do that with your strategy. You do that with your leadership. And you do that with your team. And so that's the thing that I want to challenge you is you can't save enough. You can't save your way to become a multimillionaire. It's just not going to happen. You've got to be able to grow your income, grow your value to the marketplace, and massively scale that amount of money that comes in for you. So this is step one. I hope you guys enjoy it. And on the next episode, what I'm going to talk about is I'm going to talk about some misconceptions between debt and good debt and bad debt. So I'm going to talk about debt on the next episode. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple episodes of this to talk about the reason we're teaching wealth wrong. And the cool thing is we're doing an event for our kids here June 8th and 9th at the office in Spring Hill, Tennessee. And I cannot wait to teach them the right way about becoming wealthy and about money. We teach them about good debt. We're going to teach them about credit. We're going to teach them about banks. We're going to teach them about income. We're going to teach them all kinds of, we're teaching about real estate, all the different ways they can make money in real estate. I'm really excited. I just built out the curriculum. We're breaking them up into different ages. And if you want to be a part of that, just go to 7figurerunway.com, the number 7figurerunway.com, fill out an application, come into the mastermind with us. I'm telling you, this is a really, really great way for you to learn about money, for you to learn about growing your wealth through real estate. And we have a lot of really incredible things that we're planning coming up on our Runway program. Runway programs for newer investors, people that are just getting started, people just like you who want to grow your income, want to create that side hustle, might want to keep your W-2 job, and that's okay. We're going to show you the strategy and the tools and the tactics that you need to start growing your income on your real estate business. So go to 7figurerunway.com, jump in and join us. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. And on the next one, I'm going to be talking about the next step for me of the American dream and how we can keep it alive by doing it the right way. Grow your income. Don't just focus on reducing your expenses. Spend 95% of your time growing your income, 5% of your time looking at your expenses and cutting some of those.